Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host for LT Productions. You are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. This is season 6. I think it's episode 7. Again, Peacock got stuff messed up as the order of episodes. 6 or 7. But I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Thank you. And you can also subscribe if you are new and leave your comments below. Now let's get into this week's episode. Okay, so there's a mashup with the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and Below Deck. And I believe this is Below Deck Australia. Not for sure the actual title of that particular franchise. However, just to let y'all know, that Below Deck is kicking the Housewives' arses as far as with ratings. They're really the bread and butter at this point. Right now, Housewives is still pretty popular, and we live off the fumes of the nostalgia that we'll never get back. Despite how much y'all try to kick and scream, and how I really feel is that Bravo is putting water in the carburetor or wherever, when you should be putting in some other, you know how you do those old time cars, like more 90s cars, where you try to make sure that the car doesn't overheat and then stop on you. So what you got to do when you start up the car before you leave, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. You put some water in there so you can keep on moving instead of going to the shop and get something corrected. Bravo never corrected anything, and it's really dwindling down. It's just a matter of time before Housewives is over. I do want to talk about this episode, but I don't want to talk about this episode. Meaning this, I really wanted to enjoy the episode outside of commentating, because I just wanted to get the whole feel. If you've seen it, you had the Below Deck people commenting, having their own commentary on what they were witnessing with the cast of Salt Lake City, and I thought that was just so cool. I just wanted to be in it and not come over here and have to pick this out. If you're a content creator, I think you can relate to it, but I just wanted a chance. But anyways, I'm gonna still talk about it. Some of y'all are not going to agree with some of the things I have to say, and that's okay. I'm more for logic, and I'm for what things make sense, not just because of things I feel want to happen, and I feel like that's what's happening, and how people think that this episode was so good because of Heather. Anyways, the cast starts their travel. It's going to be a 15-hour flight. Browen tells someone, I think it was Whitney, I don't know why she didn't tell Heather. I think she told Whitney. But anyway, Whitney is the one that commentated on it. She said, I won't meet you. I won't meet at the airport, but I will meet you when you get to the boat, the yacht. And the place that they are going to is Canouan, I think it's called. This is all over in, I believe, Australia area, I believe. Anyways, it looks beautiful when you see it from the sky and all that good stuff. The ladies travel, they get to the yacht, and they're greeted by the Below Deck staff. That's Captain Jason, who is basically the face of Below Deck, the new face, because there was another person. There's another lady on a different franchise, Captain Sandy. She does something else, but he's the face, and the reason he's the face because he's the lustful one. He's the one that you lust after, just to let you know that. As you can see, as others were talking in this episode, apparently Heather and Whitney are friends with Captain Jason. Anyways, they interlocked. Now they're on. You got Brittany now wanting to have dibs on Captain Jason because her and Jared are taking a 30-day break. But he came over to pack, and now she's got to take another 30 days. I'm really getting tired of this whole Jared thing. Like, can we? It's not entertaining. But for some reason, y'all want to keep her on. And she doesn't deserve, whatever. She don't deserve to be here. Later on, when they get to their cabins, we find out that she has this stuffed toy, like a stuffed bear or whatever, and it makes a sound and has Jared's voice on there. You are not disconnecting from that man. He is in your loins. He is in your soul. Mary and Angie, they're bunking up. Lisa and Meredith, they are bunking up, and I guess it's good weather that's bunking up together. Brittany and Browen will be bunking up. But anyways, when they found out that Browen wasn't going to be on the flight, Whitney was like, look, she must have been afraid to get on the flight because she knew that we were going to talk about it. But she said, hey, we're going to be talking about it whether you're on the flight or over there. True, that's what housewives do. Brown does arrive, and she comes on her own boat to get on over to the yacht. In my opinion, Lisa was being a hater in regards to her outfit. I already seen that before. Oh, I seen that. And then we're finding that there's old pictures of Brown wearing that outfit back in 2023. Who cares? Who cares? I know there's a thing where you're not supposed to be wearing the same outfit more than once. Who gives a crap? We know that she can afford it though, to buy something else. Who cares? You've seen it because you're on Instagram, Lisa. We, the people, have not seen it. Let Brown live. Angie gets sick. She gets seasick. So she's pretty much down for the day, so she won't be creating any moments. Mary does what she does best in regards to just being there as a good friend. She spends a lot of time with Angie outside of the group. She preferred, even later on in the day, to eat with Angie and talk with Angie to kind of keep her spirits up and all that good stuff. That's a good friend. That's a good friend. They have this lunch. I'm loving all the food and all that good stuff. You see the below deck, they're unpacking the bags, and they found a cucumber in one of those bags. I said, what the world? They found a cucumber. So I was kind of going in my head like, who was it? I think it's Heather, but it could be. But they're kind of being suggestive that possibly this is a toy to be used sexually. Who knows? We don't know. But yeah, just a pack of cucumber. They were like, oh, it could have been going on over the eyes. Da, 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 da. Anyways, Brittany's making a move on Jason, as I said before. All I know, I bet that when Jared finds out about this, he's going to put her on punishment, and they're just going to be, I don't know what to do. She's like 50-something years old and still like this. Like she is a 17-year-old going boy crazy. Stupid. So they have lunch. And this is the first time that they start talking with Brown about all the stuff that's coming up. She explains what she keeps saying, even in her confessionals, regarding the eviction notice, or not even just notice. She paid from being evicted from her college. She talked about a case that's over 10 plus years old, even though they're trying to say that they're recent. They're questioning her, but they don't really grill her like that. But then Brown does say that she feels like possibly someone was in the group doing this. They're all alluding and trying to be passive aggressive and just not say Lisa, even though they're really trying to aim at Lisa. Lisa's like, nobody's going to do that. Da, 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 da. This group is not going to do that. And she's getting louder and louder. Heather's in the confessional. Well, you look guilty. Why don't you just be quiet? That's the thing with Lisa. I don't even understand. But I feel like she felt like they were just going to pin it on her anyways. And she's like, no, don't come over here. Bad Weather calls Meredith because Velma, aka Heather, wants to be the one to get the ball rolling, but wants to pull in Meredith to do her dirty work that she wants done. And she's just looking at everything. This is really Lisa. Da, 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 da. I wish Meredith would have just walked up out of there, but she did not say anything that wasn't supportive. She said, I hope it's not true. I don't think that that's really... You can ask her and see if she did that. That's not on me, so what are you asking me for? Here's my thing with Miss Whitney. She's saying she did it to me. She did it to Mary. Da 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 da. Whitney, season 2. Do you know who you were? I know who you were. You went after Mary because of your theories. You went after Meredith because of your theories. You said Meredith did it, as far as calling the feds on Shawshank, making up this story about the whole funeral thing. Making up the whole story about the funeral, her dad's funeral and all that, da 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 da. Y'all be coming up with these theories and have nothing to back it up. Oh, this must be true. And they really think that because of how Lisa and Brown were feuding at the beginning of the season, it just has to be her. You know, it just had to be her. She just does this stuff. Whitney, nobody even did anything towards you. You are so mad about Alibaba, but your business is gone. How did anybody damage? Nobody damaged anything. Nobody spread any rumors. Now nobody even really knows if your crap is really crap. Oh, I cannot stand those two. I cannot. I hate when they come together. But anyways, they decide they're gonna go to dinner. Da 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 da. A bunch of stuff happens. Let's get Brittany and Brown out the way. Brittany was talking a bunch of ish. It has something to do with Meredith, or something. No. Oh, Brittany started talking ish, and Heather was like, we really like to have people present if you're going to talk ish. Oh, this is what happened. Brittany was saying something about Mary. She didn't like something about Mary, and that's when Heather was like, oh, well, we like to have people present if we're going to talk about them. Da, 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 da. She said, well, I'm the one that's open and honest about everything, and I'll say it. So then Brown said, well, what about this? We get a flashback. There's a scene that was never shown. Brown and Brittany were getting along, which looked like shopping or whatever. I have no clue why they actually did this scene, because Brown and Brittany don't get along. They're not friends. So then Brittany starts venting like a dumb fool that she is about the things that she don't like about the people. Lisa, she doesn't like that she's being this overly sisterly type person, which I don't need her to be. I mean, you're the one that is coming off as pathetic and acting like you need help in all of these situations with these men that keep taking advantage of you. You come off as this damsel in distress. If you don't want nobody to help you, tell them you don't want no help and quit complaining about your man. So then she talks about Meredith. She says, I'm really getting tired of Meredith having all of these seizures. So Brittany's like, Brown was like, oh, you saying all this stuff, da 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 da. So when Brown said, oh, so you are the one that just says everything up front, da 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 da. Well, what about what you said about Meredith and she's having seizures and da 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 da. Brittany was like, well, you can go from 0 to 100. And Meredith says, I am very highly offended by that because I don't have seizures, for one. My child has had one, and I'm really sick of you. And she ends up throwing her, not even throwing it. She ended up getting up, getting her water, because Brittany was still doubling down on that. See, that's where it is. You go from 0 to 100. Well, you said something that was very offensive in talking about seizures. You don't have no other type of words. Seizures don't mean that. So why are you using those type of medical terms that people actually deal with? She even told you how sensitive that is to her, and you kept doubling down on it. So she got up, kneeled over, and poured her water in your lap. So you took it like a champ, and you got up and you tried to throw water at her, but she ended up, as the folk on the internet were saying, water bended you, and then Brown got it. So maybe Brown, you got your karma back for acting like a friend or whatever you were doing. You took whatever she said in private to you and then hurried up and made sure that you told her business like that, even though Brittany's dumb. It still doesn't look right, and the optics ain't good, and it looks like you think that that's going to make you look good if you dump on Brittany and do this thing. They're not going to like you anymore. So then next, I don't know how I got to it, but everybody needs to own everything that they're supposed to do, as Heather was saying. Lisa, I think you're the source. You're the one that's leaking everything in regards to Brown and all that, da 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 da. She goes down her list and da 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 da. There was a time you were even asking Amy about Brown. Well, this is my thing, even talking about, oh, she was trying to get some information on Brown. I think that she was making conversation with Amy, possibly, to see what she knows about Brown and how to trash her in front of Amy. Amy was someone that was supposed to be on the show. She decided that she didn't want to be a part of the show because it's too hood and ghetto. So now that's over. She's the only socialite in the world as far as within the Salt Lake City area. So I'm lost. So Lisa gets offended. Like, everybody want to come for me. I'm the Don of Salt Lake City. I can pull all of this, and which doesn't really make sense. I need you to own it. Now, if you notice, right before Heather started stuttering. I noticed it. Y'all play it back. Right before she said that you're the source, she was afraid to actually come out and say it. She was mad at Meredith because she thought that Meredith was going to speak up, but da 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 da. She didn't. And then Meredith was like, then they tried to rope in Meredith and say, oh, you were there. Yes, I was there, Meredith said. And Lisa was like, I hope you have my back. I hope you have my back. And then Meredith's like, I said, hopefully this is not you. There is no hopefully. I didn't do it. Da 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 da. Whitney wants to get her tail up. And Lisa was like, don't come over here. And then I'm coming over here. And it didn't work because Lisa got up and then got over towards Heather and all that, yelling and screaming, da 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 da. She holds Heather's face. To me, I really even though this is Lisa Barlow, I really think that Lisa did consider Heather a friend. She wasn't holding her face in some type of aggressive way. She was like, you're doing this to me? That's how I felt. And it's just like, Heather, you tried to make this moment, and it's not momenting for me. It's not momenting for me. Lisa calls John, and she's saying what's going on and all that, and she don't really want to be here. Like, how can they do this? Da, 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 da. Heather comes chasing after her, and I wish that Lisa would have pushed her down those stairs that Lisa went down first. But I wish she would have came back up and pushed her down those stairs. You gotta face it. You gotta own it. What she gotta own that she didn't do? That you have no proof of. You're going by theory. This group has been 99% theory. The only time you actually had evidence, ma'am, is Reality Von Teese. You had nothing. You had nothing. But everybody's online cheering that you got a backbone. No, you just messed up whatever type of connection you had with her, and hopefully Lisa gets her revenge on you. But I think that you've been plotting for revenge on her, but it flopped. Y'all look stupid. Whitney, you look stupid. So then she goes crying. Heather. To go Angie and Mary. Good for you. I'm sorry. This was not a good takedown. This was not a good confrontation. You had nothing to back it up. But Lisa, you looked a fool also. Because I don't understand why you keep giving these ladies the satisfaction. I really don't. Yelling and screaming. You know you didn't do it. They don't even have anything to back it up. Whitney's so-called had proof of what would happen to her, but then they turned on her. Because you're a liar. Whatever. It's the never-ending saga of wanting to be Lisa's friend and trying to take her down. Y'all too obsessed. Y'all can't come up with another storyline. And it's starting to get very tiring. Especially when you don't have the tool. You don't have the evidence. Give me evidence. Because I think you all look stupid. And I don't care how anybody feels. I really don't care. Again, y'all not gonna like what I gotta say. It wasn't a takedown. Y'all just look stupid. And it's nothing better than what season 4 was. It's not even, it's just what? We're back to season 2 when y'all try to blame Meredith for Shawshank. Whatever. That's what I have. Y'all get in the comments and let me know. Thank you for coming by. Like, comment, subscribe. Until the next one. Peace.